but I'm sure a lot of fans are interested in the Creature series and some of the Untitled cartoon series and number series. Can you just talk briefly about those? What was behind those inspiration?
Well, a lot of these things came at a time when I was working, like a student or working Disney when I wasn't really an animator. I was just sort of had a lot of free time, and there was a period in my life where I wasn't very social, and I just kind of, that's how I spent my time, drawing and thinking of things. It just sort of helped me, because I think I was quite depressed character at a certain point in life, and this was a kind of a catharsis for me. It was a way to kind of explore and just get feelings out into the open, non-verbally, but just through doing things.
Is that something you often do? I mean, is that a relaxing way for you to spend time, sit down and start drawing?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of a zen. It's a bit kind of like a zen thing for me, or kind of like, I think, there's something about it that, like I said, because I wasn't a good communicator verbally, it was a way for me to communicate, or even drawing something, it was a way to kind of communicate with myself in a weird way, a way to kind of explore things that I couldn't quite intellectualize or verbalize, and so I found that for me the drawing was a way of finding a certain reality for me and exploring things, and so yeah, it's still important even if I'm busy doing other things. It's still
Stain Boy in particular, and I understand that came out of your experience with Superman. Can you talk about how Stain Boy reflects that experience, and also the struggles there between Warner Brothers, John Peters, and yourself, and trying to get that thing going?
Well, it was just, it's happened a couple of times. It's quite, any filmmaker that's had that happen will tell you it's a kind of a scarring. You don't forget it. It's kind of the worst thing that can happen to you because you get, as an artist, you get excited. I mean, your whole energy is based on your passion for doing something, and then when it's, you're going on and on and on, and then that's sort of taken away. It's quite traumatic. So those it's happened a couple of times, and it seems to happen more and more with people. So it's traumatic because you put your passion into it. Like if you didn't really care, well, then you just move on. But it's a lot of money. It's a big responsibility, and movies are a gamble. There's no such thing as a sure thing. So I'm always amazed that certain studio executives don't realize that. I mean, I guess there's some things that are a bit more sure than others, but at the same time, you got to rely on the filmmaker, and I've always been grateful when the studios, the people there, do, they understand, like, well, you're the one making it, we should support you. It's like, instead of this, I always had this sort of image of like, okay, you're the star athlete, and right before the race, they beat the shit out of you, and then say, okay, now go win the race. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, you're going to give the guy, let him make the movie, then help him, let him make the movie.
It's on a soap opera, obviously. Yeah. Will it have that soapy quality, that melodramatic?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the scary, yes, I don't know, I'm early into it, and it's a funny tone, because, that's part of what the vibe of the show, and there's something about it that we want to get, but, when you look at it, it's pretty bad, so I'm hoping that, it will be, well, it's early days, but let's just put it, I'm very intrigued by the tone. It's a real ethereal tone we're trying to go for, and I don't know yet.
A while, of course, with Johnny Depp, and I'm just curious. Can you talk about your first meeting, and then how has that relationship evolved over the years? And I understand it was a time where you used to fight to get him into movies, and now people are begging you to put him in.
Yeah, it's true, kind of. But I mean, I just had a immediate connection with him. I didn't know him, but he just felt right for Edward Scissorhands, and you're right about that. But at the same time, it hasn't really. changed. I mean, I never do a movie. I mean, we both have, we're friends and colleagues, and I think we've always had taken the tact of, not working together just to work together. I mean, it's got to be the right part, the right movie, and all of that sort of thing. But there's a good sort of non-communicative communication. It's like, because I wasn't a good, especially back then, I was not a good verbal communicator, and he's a bit similar, but there was more of a psychic kind of connection, I would say, that sort of, has sort of remained. And no, he's just the kind of, I like actors too that like to change, become different things. It's like those are the kind of actors that I find fun and exhilarating to work with.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
I really
Thanks
appreciate you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.